Hi everyone! Today I want to share a card I made with some Sale-a-Bration products. Sale-a-Bration runs January through March. This is 2018, in case you're looking at this later. And there's some great products this year. I was really excited to see a die set come into the Sale-a-Bration mix. And it's a really nice one. It's got Celebrate, You, and Amazing. And this is really great for birthdays and graduations, and you can just make some really beautiful cards with all of these dies. And there's a stamp set that coordinates with it called Amazing You. And you can see that it has the same 3 words but then some additional things. And these work really nicely together. You can see here I've got Celebrate You. I used a stamp and a die. And there's just some really pretty things going on here. So you can download the entire Sale-a-Bration catalog at my blog, bethspapercuts.com, and you can see all the offerings that we have right now. And they're free starting with a $50 purchase. There are some products available free with a $50 purchase at level 1, and then there's another product offering at level 2 with a $100 purchase, and you can mix and match those as your sales go higher. So let's start with this card. As you can see, I am using the die a little bit differently in 2 ways. One, I'm using it here as a stencil, and then here I'm actually using the negative space when I cut the die out. Instead of using the cutout, I'm using the space that's left behind. So that's a different way to use the dies. I'm going to show you how to put it all together. So I start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I've decided to go with kind of an ombre effect, and I'm going to use some Soft Sky, Marina Mist, and Pacific Point together on my card. And I want to show you a product from Stampin' Up! That you might not have seen. It's this fun little sponge brayer. And it's got a plastic handle. You get 2 handles and 4 sponges for $8, and it's completely washable. You can take this sponge right off and rinse it under your sink and squish it all around and get all that ink off and go right to a different color. There you go. So it's a really fun little product, and I like it for stenciling because sometimes when you use a sponge and you're trying to daub, you might move your stencil, or you know, you're kind of manipulating a little more, whereas this is a nice smooth roll and it's nice to use on your stencils. So I'll show you how that works. What I did was I used a Post-it note. I actually found these that said super sticky. We'll see how that goes. And I wanted to make sure to cut the die from the stickiest part. You know how it's sticky up here but not down here. So I cut it from the stickiest part, and let's do that. I'll be right back. There it is. You can use the this part too as a stencil. I'm going to use the actual words, but it's kind of fun either way. There we go. Make sure I get out all the little bits. Okay. And I'm just going to lay this down on my cardstock. So I like to use grid paper to kind of line things up, make sure I have things nice and straight. You know, I think I'm going to actually use the lines from the Post-it note. See, look at that line on the Post-it note, match it up to my grid paper line. Oops, something on the back of that one. There we go. And I cut a few of these out. So that one's going to go off the page. This one will come down a little bit. I don't think that's straight. Okay, and I cut a 3rd one out. What did I do with it? Okay, now I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is the Soft Sky, and ink it up. And then just roll across the top here. See how nice and smooth this sponge brayer is. Okay, now I'm going to go to my next color, which is Marina Mist. I don't even think I need to get too much ink off of here, but there we go. Because I'm going dark to light, I don't need to change my sponge, and it's all in the same color family. I think I'm good. Oops, I should have moved to Celebrate. Yikes. I meant to move one down, but I think I can still throw it on there really quick. There we go. Now, if you're smart, you can cut out more Celebrate so you don't have to remember to move it down. Going crooked here. Let's move this one down. Just don't go back over your other one. Okay, and now I'm going to go with my darkest color, Pacific Point. Go. And you're done with the main part of the card. Look how fun that looks. Now see here, I messed up because I didn't move my Celebrate, but this is going to cover that, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. Now we're going to create this little part here. So I'm using another piece of Whisper White cardstock, a little scrap that I had, and I'm using the Stitched Shapes framelit dies. I'm using the second to largest oval. This is a fun die set. It's got these ovals, circles, and squares with some stitching on it. Really fun effect. And then I'm going to use the U from the Sale-a-Bration die set. And I can go ahead, it fits inside, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them at the same time. You want to kind of make your U a little low because you're going to put the word Celebrate on top. So you don't want these to overlap because you don't want to accidentally ruin your dies. So get it, don't go under this die, but get right up close to it. And I will be right back. Okay, I'm going to add the Celebrate in Pacific Point. There we go. Now, can I tell you what I meant to do? I meant to stamp first and then cut out, because then you can measure. This is not a photopolymer stamp, so you can't see through it. There you go. Does it still work? It does. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Now when you're cutting out the U, don't lose your little circle. You know, something else I wanted to point out really quickly with this U, somebody really brilliant, another demonstrator, not me, came up with this. Look. So you've got the word U, but if you cut just this little bit here off, you now have the word joy. So you got another word out of that set. Fun, right? Okay. So let's put this together. I love this really fun stitched edge ribbon, so I'm going to use that to create a cute little bow on the side. And I used a piece of Pacific Point to go behind this so that that U really shows through. And I didn't cut out a whole nother oval, I just cut a little scrap. So I will show you what I did there. Just kind of made sure it didn't hang past. And I wanted it to have some depth to it. I wanted there to be some of this shadow. So I used some of these dimensionals to keep it off of the Whisper White. I love the little mini dimensionals because you can really get in between little nooks and crannies. There we go. I just trimmed around any edges I thought might show. And there we go. And this is where that little circle comes in. You want to make sure to add that so that your O is definitely an O. And there is that. That's so cute. Okay, now we're going to put this whole thing down. And I like to go around the ribbon. So I usually put a dimensional on the top of the ribbon and a dimensional on the bottom of the ribbon. There. Very cute. And then that goes straight down. Next, I just added some rhinestones for some sparkle. Kind of laid them down wherever they seem to fall. I wanted to put one at least on the Celebrate part. Kind of bring your eye over there. There. And you are all done. What do you think? I hope you like it. I hope you like these Sale-a-Bration products. Like I said, you can check them out at my blog, bethspapercuts.com, and I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.